we are safe hands in the person who is going to make a presentation. He is Mr. Obenga Omotesho, a seasoned lecturer in law, a publicist. What I mean is, has written so many books and articles on various areas of law. He was a lecturer in law in the University of Ife. He was also a lecturer in law in the University of Abuja before we forcefully had to draft him to this place. So that is the person who is going to do the presentation. Another round of applause for him.
The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the third arm of government in our democratic setup. It is the arm that deals with the adjudication of disputes with the objective. The first objective of this paper is that at the end of the presentation, participants should be able to put into effective use the ideas and lessons learned to positively impact on their scheduled activities and to make a difference in the quality of judicial services rendered by them in various jurisdictions of the courts in Nigeria. The second objective is to create a framework for court workers to be efficient and effective in the discharge of their duties while displaying high standards of excellence. The need to find methods and ways through which the performance of court workers can be improved is one that has over time been given priority and attention by the leadership of the judiciary in Nigeria. This is especially so as secretaries, court registrars, court clerks, bailiffs, and process servers are the first and final points of contact for litigants and court users. Their good or bad behavior leaves lasting and lingering impressions on the public as to the integrity and credibility of the judiciary. The topic of this paper, improving performance of court employees, need for paradigmship, derives its basis from the fact that effective performance of staff of the courts can only yield results on an increasing scale if there is a corresponding change in their attitudes and character. We cannot agree more with this than as expressed by Jeff Keller in the title of the book, Attitude is Everything. Change your attitude, change your life. Therefore, the improved performance and advancement of any individual, institution, or organization is dependent on the attitudes and character of those who run the system. If the system is bad, it is because those who run the system have wrong or bad attitudes and behavior. Our discussion focuses on how the attitudes of court staff affect the quality and types of service rendered by court clerks, court registrars, bailiffs, they being the entry point for those seeking justice in the courts. Their behavior in or outside the court has an effect one way or the other on the public, either as court users, litigants, lawyers, colleagues, onlookers, family members, and court staff themselves. The discussion explores whether such behaviors have become so notorious that they create wrong perceptions and doubts about the type of justice administered by the courts. Attitudinal change may therefore not be listed as part of the job description of the Secretaries, Registrars, court clerks, bailiffs, or court staff generally. However, they play crucial roles in their job performance. What do we mean by attitude? Attitudes are often the result of upbringing or experience. They can have a powerful influence over the behavior, and while they are enduring, they can also change. Attitude refers to manners, disposition, feeling, position, with regard to a person or thing, tendency or orientation, especially of the mind, a position or posture of the body appropriate to or expressive of an action, emotion, etc. In psychology, an attitude refers to a set of emotions, beliefs, and behaviors towards a particular object, person, thing or event. Psychologists also define attitudes as a learned tendency to evaluate things in a certain way. This can include evaluations of people, issues, objects, or events. Such evaluations are often positive or negative, but they can also be uncertain at times. For example, you might have mixed feelings about a particular person or issue. Researchers also suggest that there are several different components that make up attitudes. The components of attitudes are sometimes referred to as EAB or ABC of attitude. One, we have what we call the cognitive component, which represents your thoughts and beliefs about the subject. The A stands for affective component, and that means how the object, person, issue, or event makes you feel. While B stands for behavioral component, and that's how the attitude influences your behavior. Attitudes can be explicit and implicit. Explicit attitudes are those that we are consciously aware of and clearly influence our behaviors and beliefs. Implicit attitudes are unconscious, but still have an effect on our beliefs and behaviors. How do attitudes form? There are a number of different factors that can influence how and why attitudes form. These include A, experience. Attitudes are directly as a result of experience. They may emerge due to direct personal experience, or they may result from observation. B, social factors are considered appropriate. C, learning. Advertisers influence your attitude towards a particular product. In a television commercial while enjoying a sport drink, this attractive and appealing imagery causes you to develop a positive association with this particular beverage. D, conditioning. This can also be used to influence how attitudes develop. Imagine a young man who has just started smoking. Whenever he lights up his cigarette, people complain, chastise him, and ask him to leave their vicinity. This negative feedback from those around him eventually of smoking, and he decides to give up the habit. Attitudes by observing people around them. Those you admire create a particular attitude. For example, children spend a great deal of their time observing the attitudes of their parents and usually begin to demonstrate. We tend to assume that people behave in accordance with their own attitudes and actual behavior. After all, plenty of people. The fundamentals of our discussion on attitudinal change is first to promote attributes of behavior by staff of the judiciary and discipline. This discussion will reinforce or to maintain a high ethical standard and integrity and to minimize the system for gain or for form, swearing to force out the accused person before giving out dates of adjournment, possessing bail bonds, proving performance in court employees. Improved performance of court staff as a result of attitudinal change can arise in such a good promptness and punctuality, B, efficiency, D, honesty, E, courtesy, on the part of the court clerk, court registrar, bailiff, will derive personal satisfaction from to discharging his duties and obligations in a friendly, displaying high level of knowledge and competence, or delivering on his assigned ability, personal integrity and commitment, respecting people and their views, both within and outside courts. Good office manners. The need for accepted etiquette for staff of the judiciary in Nigeria cannot be overemphasized. When court staff adopt accepted etiquette, they possess behaviors that encourage positive results, commitment and confidence from others, especially court users, supervisors and subordinates alike. Good manners are not only limited to office functions alone. They extend to any other function or activity that the court staff finds himself or herself. When we talk put others down, requisite etiquette would include answering and responding to inquiries on telephone, how sad or how happy you are. Talk on the phone like you talk face to face. Please use a polite tone of voice. Confidentiality of the information you give demand. Project your voice without shouting. Treat everyone with respect. and out for writing pad and pen, and take notes when answering the phone. This enables you to recall instructions or to know exactly what action needs to be taken. Callers, that you value them and their call. Quick service helps to build a reputation of efficiency for you and your call. 4. React to the conversation using words such as yes, I understand, I see, I will, I'll get back to you. 5. Ask, pay attention. Transfer calls only when necessary. When you need to leave the line, explain why secretary or personal assistant in honorable detail. Offer refreshment when necessary and if available. Offer to help doing your job. Avoid comments like follow me, walk this way. Avoid phrases like he is not in yet, or he has already gone for the day. He has just gone to the toilet. Let the guests know where the toilet, all washrooms or restrooms are. Avoid pointing a non-challenge way, what they should do or where to go. Maintain an office and all business-like atmosphere. Do not chat with a colleague about the problems of the office in the presence of guests or visitors. 7. Talk to the guests only if they begin and initiate conversation. Remember how you feel when you are happy. Be quiet, and someone in the same room is like a radio. If you are the one they are communicating to them, explain and get someone else to attend to them. Offer sincere apologies. Meetings. The agenda and notice are for anyone to attend. It's not for everyone to attend. Oftentimes, we are called upon to assist our superiors to arrange for a meeting or to take notes or minutes. Be prompt. It's bad manners to be late for a meeting. Always arrive a little early. If you are going to be late or for any reason whatsoever you are delayed, call in well advanced. Extend your hand when you see yourself in the location. It's right for you to do so. Honor and keep your territory. Do not take up all the space around you. Some people are in the habit of spreading their papers and notes on every table and neatly arranging your writing materials on your left side near the front. This enables you to pick out what you need to use at any point in time. Keep your clothes and shoes on. Do not remove your jacket or losing your cap. In all these visits, the host suggests that you should. If you then decide to remove the jacket, don't put it on another chair. Keep it on yours. Listen to keys or functions on schedule with or without supervision. Hire in the right manner, on time and by the right person. And the main principles include 1. Recognition of the importance of others. 2. Respect for other people's ideas, even if they are different from yours. 3. Appreciate, encourage, and learn to work as a team. 4. Cooperate and respect. Cooperation and respect are important in building successful relationships with your superiors. 5. No eye service. Do not pass on tasks assigned to you for others to do. 6. Understand and appreciate the role of each superior, irrespective of gender or age. 7. Carry on tasks immediately and always give a report of the outcome to your superiors. 8. Get the approval of your superiors on what you want to do. 9. Be honest, truthful, open, and admit mistakes, and don't lie. 10. Guard against divulging confidential information, whether in a conversation with colleagues or for private gain. 11. Manage time effectively. Avoid wasting time, working hours, and time through gossips and small talks. 12. Win the confidence of accomplishing tasks and assign schedules competently and effectively. 13. Always thank the superiors for the opportunity they gave you to work or to improve. 14. Do not be afraid to seek assistance or help on how to solve a problem. Ask questions when you don't understand the instructions. My short conclusion. In this paper, I attempted to show the list of areas of public police schedule of duties that needs improvement. There are still many more areas that are not enumerated. What is however definite is the general consequences of this area have been that it has portrayed both the public police and the judiciary in background. Thus, it is imperative to note that for all any conduct of the public police, the judiciary can be subjected to a great deal of public ridicule. with the level of disparagement of the judiciary in recent times. Our experience as judicials has shown that the need for paradigm shift in the judiciary is sacrosanct and should not be treated with kid gloves. All hands must therefore be on deck to achieve the set goal. The actions of committed and loyal court employees have a direct impact on the court performance. At this juncture, I'd like to thank the Administrator of the National Judicial Institute, Honorable Justice R.B.I. for considering me worthy to share this with us on my with you. May I also thank distinguished participants for the
access to the issue of communication, on communication, effective communication. If you can go back, go home, have some time, go back to some of these things, they need to make meanings to you as to a daily guide. The velocity is that you cannot keep secret. Some court class with the magistrate or judge have given there and gone. You need to charge money for. This is some of those things. Or when you are preparing a record of appeal, you need to charge money far and above. I don't want to share space. No, I don't want to share it. But I want to tell you that we know that some of these things happen. And what he's telling you is, it is showing the judiciary in bad light. Let us avoid them as they come. They will surely come, but try to avoid them. Like the Bible tells us for those of us who are Christians, resist the devil and he will flee from you. But if you do not resist, the devil will keep on coming. So I will take only one question for a reason that I think the paper should be very well digested. Nothing that the presenter as a professor of law should also make you. That's why, like John Baptist said, I'm not worried to even apply his shoes. So I'm not worried to comment on his paper that I agree with him. So sir, I agree with you. So let us take one question each, yes?
And my fellow participants, I would like to draw attention to page 5. And the last sentence is there. My name is Shaibu Samuel. I'm from FCT Customary Court of Appeal. Page 5 of 5. The last sentence is there on D, conditioning. The negative feedback from those around him eventually caused him to develop an unfavorable opinion of smoking, and he decided to give up the habit. Well, my saying there is as a judiciary staff, we ought to represent our society to show that we are a disciplinarian. And when we look at what people do daily in our society, you feel like the darkness is coming more and more. Why all these children are thrown in the street doing what they ought not to do is simply because we keep quiet. Sometimes we say it doesn't matter. Sometimes we say it doesn't concern us. But look at how Boko Haram is chasing us up and down everywhere today. If we have been telling these children that what they are doing, what they are saying is wrong, perhaps they may give up their negative opinions. My question is that we talk about an issue where you have to be courteous and you have to be submissive to your senior. And it happens that your senior does not want to listen to you, your own opinion, to church. You just look at it or the way it was inset off. And then he began to brag. He doesn't even want you to say something, anything. So in this case, if you don't shout, that how is it, then you don't listen to you. It doesn't mean that you have raised an eyebrow, so you are not a disobedient person.
Okay. So you do what you are asked to do. Don't question the judgment of your superiors. Because, like the Lord Justice Onoge will continue to tell us, the day they will decide your fate, you will not be there. So better obey. Shut up. Keep your mouth shut. For your own best interest. If you know the distance between where you are and the chief judge, you see it's too far. So please, for you, even judges have to keep a distance from their chief judges and obey them, because when they are taking a decision on matters concerning you, nobody will invite you for your opinion. So you better keep it in such a way that when they are deciding your case, that your immediate superior will say, no, he's a good boy. Thank you. Are you okay? So.
Good day, everybody. The presenter appreciates your work, but I want you to give me a summary. Okay. My name is Gloria Ono. I'm from Anambra State Judiciary. So please, sir, I need a differentiation between the words attitude, manner, and the behavior. And please, for me to improve in my grammar, because at times I do find it difficult to place these three words when making communication or things like that. Thank you.
All protocols observed. I am Esther Alatishi from Lagos State Judicial. My question is, when you are trying to round up the session for us now, you mentioned the preparation of the record of appeal. And during the process, we have the appeal session. So I want to ask that during the preparation, the proceedings we type for the record of appeal, is it the duty of the court secretaries? When I mean court secretaries, I mean the secretaries attached to honorable judges. Thank you.
My name is Franklin F. Aloma, Court of Appeal, Lagos Judicial Division. My question is on the issue of calls. You know, lawyers are at times under pressure. You will be in your house, you've closed from work, you go to the house, they will be calling you on phone. Please, is my matter coming up tomorrow? I heard it's coming up. Please help me and check the cost list. They'll be pressurizing you. And considering the fact that you have closed from work, is it necessary for you, because you're not working within the judicial hour again, is it necessary for you as a judicial staff to adhere strictly or to answer the calls? Or if you answer the calls, is it in any way jeopardizing your job? Because the issue is on.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Eunice. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Eunice Uchenna from Anambra State. I need a clarification. In terms of swearing a witness who is about to testify, is it correct for the clerk of court or the registrar of court to swear himself first before swearing the witness? Secondly, can a clerk of court or a registrar of court accept money after bail even though he did not demand? Thanks.
All protocol observed. I am Abubakar Babagina from Borno State Judiciary. My question is it the duty of a computer analyst who is working in the litigation registry to be going around for collecting forms of, collection of forms, for collection of return forms for litigation without being paid transportation allowance?
Tomorrow.
But Mrs. Ono from Anambra State, right? Mrs. Ono, I think she's from here. Can you get up? Okay. The presenter will answer your question, but there is a word you use, so many of you use that is not good. Good day means I have finished with you, you can go. That's the name of good day. So don't tell anybody good day. It's either good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. It's better you say good evening instead of good afternoon. It's okay. But to say good day means the matter is over. You go your way. That's the meaning. Yeah. Then preparation of record of appeal by somebody. It is not the function of the judge, the typist, or the secretary to the judge to type the record of appeal. It is not. Otherwise, that person, man or woman, will die. So there is appeal section in every high court, right? There is an appeal section in every high court. After they prepare the record of appeal, they send everything to that appeal section, and there are more than 5 secretaries or typists, as was the old case. They could be up to 10. Their job is to type. And as to who pays cost, it depends on the rules of court. It used to be problematic before in the area where I come from. But right now, it is the appellant that pays. The assessment has to be reasonable. Otherwise, you may put yourself in trouble. Even the payment of witnesses and even the belief, those who go to serve processes, it is the person whose process you're serving that want to pay you. There are some of you, it has created room for problem. Sorry, I don't want to call corruption. It has created room for problem. And some of you are not being reasonable. From here to Derek, you charge 20,000. Is it reasonable? Some of you can take a price of 500 naira and can't come back. You charge somebody 20,000. And then, like the presenter said, their language is even bad. Or if you don't want to pay, now make they go. And they go. You are forcing the man, you are making him hopeless. You are becoming God. And it is not good. So, the other one is swearing in witnesses. He don't answer the rest of the question. These ones are the ones he said I should answer. Swearing in witnesses, where you will swear yourself before you swear others. I'm not sure if it is the practice. It's never the practice. At least I have sat in court anyway. Nobody swears himself before swearing others. It's not done. Except there is a mistake you're making. There's a difference between swearing in witness and swearing in as an interpreter. If you want to interpret, then you swear that oath that you do the proper interpretation. So that there are 2 different scenarios. When you are swearing in a witness, swear after me. And the person says after you, the evidence I shall give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Well, maybe you are swearing, and the other person is swearing after you. It's not you who is swearing. You are only believe the other person to swear. But when you want to interpret, you swear that you will interpret correctly and precisely without any bias or anything, and you ask God to help you, or how do I help you? But we need divine help. Then acceptance of money under bail. I said it before, you are not supposed to accept money, and that's what she told you. The presenter said it plainly and clearly. Acceptance of money, gratification. The rules governing you is also the rules governing the judges. In fact, the judges are even worse. You are not supposed to accept any gift before, during, and after. So long as that person has anything to do with your court, or have the tendency or having anything to do with your court in future. I want to tell you something. I was posted a particular message this week when I was in Manchester. That one man came and thank God and said yes, that you are here. I can start making my my cases. I say you are going to prison. So that is it. Some people are happy that you have been appointed to that place. Like somebody say, can't you help your father or your mother watching him go to prison? You should watch your mother go to prison if he wants you to lose your job. You should watch her go to prison. If you don't even know the proper thing, you shouldn't do the wrong thing. So the presenter will finish the rest of the question.
The first one is from one Samuel from FCT Customer Court of Appeal. You asked whether it is proper to be courteous and respectful to superiors. I would say there's nothing wrong with being courteous and respectful. So I would say that's a very positive attitude you should imbibe at all times. Then from Gloria, Anambra State Judicial, you wanted to know the difference between attitude and behavior. I would say first you can pull up the dictionary to confirm what attitude and behavior means. But on my part, I believe that attitude is a manifest attitude by the way you behave. So there's an overlap between the two. Then you said attitude depends on of appeal. Is it the duty of the secretary? The chairman has answered that there's an appeal section in the various courts for that purpose. Then Aloma, Court of Appeal Lagos, whether you should entertain calls from lawyers, even at awkward times. Well, I don't see anything wrong in your entertaining calls. Even if you don't want to respond positively, you can always talk to them in a respectful and calm manner and ask them to call you back the next day. So all that is important is that you should not be rude to them and be calm as much as possible. Then Julie, you said whether a clerk should swear himself before swearing in a witness. The chairman has already responded to that, and I will adopt what he said as my view. Then Mr. Abuja on New State Judiciary, whether it is the duty of a computer analyst to go out to every form without being paid. I don't think that question emanated from our discussion here, but notwithstanding, I would say you should politely approach your seniors and explain to them your difficulty in carrying out those functions without being paid. Thank you very much.
Well, another round of applause for the presenter of the papers. As the proceeding was going on, the Director of Research entered. Welcome, Ajay. And the former presenter, the president of the last paper, Mr. Gilbert, also came in to join us. Welcome. Mr. Otutu has been here with us. I think we are presenting tomorrow. Okay. Thank you so much for today. As soon as we leave here, after the announcement by the compare, we go to the Fort Modern Aroma Mayor banquet or the rest of us.
For effective communication to effective to service delivery. In conclusion, presenter urged the participants to employ the principles of effective service delivery through the application of the effective communication skills. The second paper presented for the day was understanding the implication of the Code of Conduct for Court Employees in Nigeria by Mr. Gabriel Todd, the senior fellow of the National Judicial Institute. The session was chaired by Hadian Titikau, Director of Research of the Institute. The speaker defined ethics, underscored the ethical values such as comportment, decorum, equality, integrity, impartiality, and independence as contained in the Code of Conduct. They explored the wider implications of the Code of Conduct for court employees in the judiciary in Nigeria, especially the personal and institutional implications. In conclusion, he recommended, among other things, that the court employees and judicial administrators should be appraised with the provisions of the Code of Conduct in various services to court users. There should also be modern information and communication tools and data storage facilities that would enable the production, management, and preservation of court records.
At the end of the presentation, so many questions and contributions were entertained and resolved, marking the end of the second session for the day. The last session for the day was chaired by Dr. Aja Owu, Director of Studies of the Institute, and the paper titled Improving the Performance of Court Employees, Need for Paradigm Shift, was presented by Mr. Wenga Omotoso, Director of Personnel Management of NJI. The presentation focused on the effects of attitudes of court staff on the quality of services rendered by secretaries, court clerks, board registrars, and the paper also explored the available modes of improving performance in court employees. According to him, improved performance and advancement of any institution or organization was dependent on the attitudes and character of those that manage the system. He reiterated the different modes of improving performance in court employees, which included areas of promptness and punctuality, efficiency, dedication, honesty, courtesy, dressing, and grooming. In conclusion, he advised the participants to acquire a positive attitude to work and impact on their schedule of duties. Enriching contributions were made by the participants at the end of the presentation, and that marked the end of the proceedings for the day 2 of the 2015 National Workshop for Secretaries, Court Registrars, Process Clerks, and Bailiffs on Ethics and Anti-Corruption. Thank you for listening.
You had the recap, and we are going to start the next session in a few minutes' time. But meanwhile, if there's any issue that you ought to raise this day that was not properly addressed, perhaps due to time constraints, you can do that now. I will try to do that before we go to the next session. The purpose of the workshop is to acquaint you properly. We don't need to rush things. Just if you have anything that is agitating your mind on the papers presented so far, you feel free now to raise such issues.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Without financial autonomy, judgments not meant to be obeyed, the latter, but the rulings. Also, knowingly, the budgets are only statements of expected incomes. This is my question,
folding his arms and doing nothing to see to the enforcement of the judgment of the Federal High Court. The immediate past Chief Justice of Nigeria, to my knowledge, wrote letters to all the governors and all the attorneys general in the country, asking them to see to the implementation of the judgment in their respective states. Some states have taken steps to implement the judgment. Some few have gone on appeal, to your knowledge, but you know the judiciary doesn't have its own police, and we rely on the executive to enforce the judgments of the court. Other policy matters cannot be restored to them. Thank you. As to the financial autonomy of states, whether the judiciary can be independent without financial autonomy, it depends on the type of independence you are talking about. You talk about the independence of the judiciary in terms of the independence of the judges themselves, the independence of the judges presiding over a particular matter. But when you come to financial independence, of course, the judiciary is financially independent at the federal level, and in some states, it's not so bad in all the states. Some states still observe that, no matter how minimal. But it's a young democracy, we are progressing. As the Chief Judge of Cross River said, some governors still do not understand the place of the judiciary in the polity. Some states do understand, but for those who do not understand, we continue to make them to understand. And your conduct, and you are members of Judicial, some of you are on strike, they are all efforts to enforce that judgment, because you are using your rights to strike to force the governors to obey the judgment of the court. So thank you.
Yes, I'm management of this seminar. Good morning, my co-participants. All other protocols, very well and duly observed. I am Mr. Boniface M. I am from High Court Otutu in Anambra State. The organizers of this seminar, precisely to one of our spokespersons yesterday, in one of the lessons or lectures we received yesterday, especially, particularly about code of conduct, the presenter gave us one of the topics of teaching that says why we have code of conduct. In one of the subheadings, he mentioned that one of the reasons I have code of conduct is to see that all the judicial staff have one conduct or have the same way of behavior. That they want to make sure that the behavior of somebody in the Supreme Court, Abuja, somebody in the Appeal Court in Enugu or elsewhere, and the one in the Customary Court in Cross River State, that their conduct is almost one thing. That the way the person in Abuja, Supreme Court or wherever is behaving is the way that somebody in a corporate court in the village will be behaving. We understood it like that. Then my question is this. When you people want us to behave one in the same way, why is it that you organizers or the directors or managers our laws will not try and make sure that we have uniform salary? So that the salary of somebody in the Appeal Court, in the Supreme Court, and somebody is not on the same level in a corporate court in the village is the same thing. Thank you.
You are raising extraneous matters. If you are a lawyer and you are called to bar today, and the another lawyer was called to bar 50 years ago, ostensibly you do not have the same income. You are not at the same pedestal. There are the same rules of professional conduct that two of you. That is the reply I can say. But I would like the presenter of the paper perhaps to answer another side of the question. If the purpose of rule and code of conduct is to maintain standard.
Before I give it to the paper presenter, you mentioned that why can the person in the Supreme Court not have the same salary? You know that federal and state. So the wages of the federal is different from the wages of the state for, I believe, obvious reasons. Cost of living in the federal is much higher, and then they are subject to transfer and all kinds of things, and which people in the state, I'm not saying that is the reason, I'm just thinking maybe that's one of the reasons behind that. Now the paper presenter.
The question you have raised shows that you got something to take home from the presentation that was made yesterday. Thank you for that. The issue of having a uniform code and behavior was part of the judiciary in Nigeria. And I explained to you the covenant or the agreement that the judiciary in court have had with members of the public. That if you come to the judiciary or you come to the court, this is what you get. As far as the litigant is concerned, he does not know whether this court belongs to Zamfara or the judiciary belongs to the Supreme Court or what. As far as it's concerned, it is the court that is approaching. So the behavior that he is expecting, the conduct for which he is expecting from you is one. So he will not expect the behavior to be different if, for instance, he is a resident, like the director mentioned, is a resident who is a driver passing by. He is not a citizen of that state. You understand? So if He goes, they have to be in Zamfara. And then the behavior of the staff there is untoward. His attitude, his feeling will be that, oh, the Nigerian judiciary, there's no hope. Do you understand? That is why the conduct of staff of the court has to be uniform. Do you understand? Now, on the other aspect that's already been answered by the director, we have a federal system for a federation. So you cannot have the component units of the federation are not the same. For instance, the strengths of the states are not the same. You find today some states are able to pay their salaries while others are not. So are you going to pack your load and go to that state? Then if things start working when you are saying, will you want to come back? No. Do you understand? So that is how, and that is why we need to have a uniform set of behavior as enshrined in the code of conduct. And especially, do not pay much, your mind should not deviate from ethics. The code of conduct itself is an embodiment of the ethical values that we talked about, the 7 ethical values which are embedded in your mind. Do you understand? Before they are written down anywhere in the book, they are in your mind. You know them, good and bad. Thank you.
You have to sleep under a shelter. That's one. You have to wear your clothes, you have to cover up your nudity. You have to eat food when you are hungry. You have to bath when you experience some deaths in your system. It applies to Dangote, who is the richest man in Nigeria. It applies to you, it applies to me. Levels differ, but it is there. The type of cloth I wear is not the type Dangote wears. The type of house I sleep under is not the type Dangote wears. But the important thing is we are expected to observe these 4 fundamental norms of human living, a normal human being. That differentiates us from a madman who can sleep in the street. So, whether you are earning, you can ask, what about the chief registrar? The chief registrar is also bound by the same code that is bounding the court line. In the same court, in the same state, they are not on the same salary grade level, but the same code of conduct binds all of them. So, the way it binds the man in Supreme Court, who is a cleaner, is the way it binds the chief registrar in the state high court, who is the administrative chief in that state. So you see, it doesn't matter whether you are in federal or state or local government. The important thing is that you are a court employee in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So it applies to also, you have code of conduct for judicial officers. And judicial officers were defined to even include customary court judges and area court judges and Sharia court judges, including the Chief Justice of Nigeria. So as it applies to the judicial officers, so the code for court employees applies to every court employee in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Position is not there. The question is, are you a judicial staff? Are you a court employee in the Federal Republic of Nigeria? So try by all means, no matter your salary, no matter your take-home pay, don't compare yourself to the man on top. Obey it and abide by it within your own level. Those who cannot manage little things, the big ones will not be interested on them. So thank you. The purpose of this little interactive session is my understanding that any latecomer must have something to lose. We go to the main session for today. Sorry.
A very good morning to you all. Before going any further, let me acknowledge the presence of my Lord, the Administrator of the National Judicial Institute, my Lord, Honorable Justice R.P.I. Bozimo, Officer of the Federal Republic. We'll be going to the 6th session. The topic: relationship between the secretaries, court registrars, process clerks, bailiffs, and the heads of court, judicial officers, and chief registrars. The chairman of the session, I believe, and the paper presenter is one of our own, a senior research fellow of the National Judicial Institute, our own dear Mr. Osman Otutu. Very good morning to you. Without further ado, I'll hand over to the chairman of session for proper guidance. Thank you.
And I want to thank your Lordship for the opportunity to be a resource person in this workshop. Thank you very much, my Lord. Also, I would like to congratulate your Lordship on the good works that your Lordship is doing in this institute. May the Lord continue to help your Lordship to achieve success in Jesus' name. I want to recognize the Director of Studies, our big Oga, who has been here. I recognize you, the Director of Research, and all other management staff of the NJI. I welcome all of you. I welcome the paper presenter too. You are most welcome. And to the distinguished participants, I want to once again welcome you and say good morning. I know you have been having periods of refreshing since Monday, but I want to tell you this morning's session is going to be very interesting to you. The topic, as has been said, is the relationship between the secretaries, court registrars, process clerks, bailiffs. I believe that the manual has been with you, and many of you have gone through it in the night. We say that the message of the lecture is very, very rich. Now, the lecture is going to be taken by a senior research fellow here in the National Judicial Institute. He is Mr. Osman Otutu. Mr. Osman Otutu is a well-experienced researcher. He has been a senior research fellow in this institute. He has also been involved in teaching and presentation of papers for close to 20 years now. He has been, from 2008 to date, he has been involved in the training of court employees like you in different states across this Nigeria. And outside the judiciary, he was also involved in training as a resource person in his former office, where he was before he came here, at the Public Complaints Commission, Office of the Ombudsman. Mr. Otutu always had a stint in the training of middle manpower in Ghana between 2006 and 2007. And overall, I want to tell you that he has been involved in training and research in different countries and at different times. I want you to put your hands together for Mr. Otutu. So you believe with me that it is a round peg in a round hole, and the lecture is going to be rewarding. What I just said is that people going out and calling in during lectures, it will benefit you. Please, I want you to be rapt in attention so that we can all go together as we discuss. Welcome to Mr. Otutu as he presents his paper.
Before I start, recognize the management staff here present. Honorable Justice RBI Cosimo OFR. Good morning, the Director of Research, Dr. CEO Aja. Good morning, my Director, my own Director. My preface. I consider it a great privilege and opportunity to be called upon to serve as a resource person in the 2015 National Workshop for Secretaries, Court Registrars, Process Clerks and Bailiffs on ethics and anti-corruption. I express my sincere appreciation to the Administrator of the National Judicial Institute, Honorable Dr. OFR, for giving me this opportunity. This paper is no doubt an important one, and it seeks to examine the relationship between those who run and control the activities in the court. It is about service and work relationship. That is simple, isn't it? So, the effectiveness and efficiency of any organization is a function of good working relationship among its employees. Therefore, the relevance of this paper cannot be overemphasized. I also do some reading in my introduction, the just caution evening. So, the judiciary in Nigeria is constitutionally mandated to enforce the law of the land, uphold the constitution, and render justice where necessary according to law. They are the interpreters of the law and the arbiters of these books. this constitutional role assigned to and played by the judiciary in the society is not only an important one for the noble duty, which can only be realized through the function of the courts. And this is provided for in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, by Legislature Section 6 of Section 1, which states as follows. The judicial powers of the Federation shall be vested in the judicial courts, to which this section relates, being courts established in the Federation. The courts achieve this through the work of officers and staff of the courts who seek to be legally activities of the court. To make the court more efficient and more effective and efficient in the performance of these roles requires improvement in skills and knowledge of these staff through capacity building programs such as this one we are now doing. Much more, the daily increase in the amount of disputes and conflicts as well as the sophistication and complex nature of these disputes and crimes require accurate and regular training for those who run the business of the court to be on top of their jobs. That is a fact. To do that, the officers and staff of the court whose duties have been spelled out in the law and regulation need some cooperation, some coordination along the line of their work and services. This is because they depend on one another to carry out their schedules of duty in order to achieve the overall objective of the court and the common goal of the judiciary as an arm of government. Therefore, understanding the relation between the secretaries, registrars, clerks, bailiffs, and heads of all judicial officers and chief registrars is not only important but necessary. So my task is to lead the discussion that examines the working relationship that exists among some of these officers and staff who work in the course of justice delivery. But underlining this though, is the need to reflect on the theme of the workshop, improving staff performance through attitudinal change. The theme in itself presents a thinking that supports some change in the way we have always carried out our duties. To adopting new strategies, new commitments, behavior that is more efficient and more result-oriented. So, the objective is simple. The purpose of this was to refresh our mind. We know that over the time, over the years, we've been working as bailiffs, as secretaries, as this, as that, in the courts. So, you do know their schedules. But also, in a time, it has need to remind ourselves about what our functions in case we forget. I had a friend who works in the Obaseki construction company. There's something he normally puts in front of his seat. He said, "Do remind me I am privileged to work in this place. I often forget." You can see that. So he said the job is not important to him. So and he's asking, so it's important to remind ourselves where we work, what our duties are, and then what our commitment should be on day-to-day basis. So it's all you do today, tomorrow you forget. Secondly, it is to strengthen capacity of participants through sharing of experience and information that will assist. So that will assist in the delivery of qualitative, fair, and effective services to the court users, especially to ensure that performances and work attitudes are consistent with the standard expected of a court. Are we okay? You know what court is? By working in the judiciary is an important arm of the government. And sometimes it's not just about you working, you doing your services and schedules of duty on day-to-day basis. But does it meet the standard expected of a court? So that's why we are saying that not change and not measures, though there may be some parameters in some courts where they check their performances. But by and large of it is that whatever we do on daily basis in discharge of our daily duties must be in consonance with what is the expected standard of a court. Now, in order to deal with this discussion in a way that everybody will capture it, I try to do some definitions, try to highlight you, to give you some set of background on how to understand the superstructure is a mechanism for ensuring that there is order, there is peace, and that governance runs according to the process requirements. So in every sense of it, is an important establishment, a third arm of government. You can see judiciary, you can't see judiciary anywhere. Of justice. So those things are just reminding us about what is the duty of a court. What does the dictionary tell us about a court? Let's take some readings. I think we are reading along. The Black's Law Dictionary defines judiciary as pertaining or relating to the court of justice. That branch of government which is intended to interpret, construe, apply the law. It also defines judicial as belonging to the office of a judge, as judicial authority. So lower we have the Oxford Advanced Legal Dictionary of Current English defines court as a place where legal trials take place and where crimes, etc. are judged. The civil and the criminal courts. Therefore, the court is the institution saddled or most in line with the mandate of the court and operates on hierarchical structure with specified duties that are tailored towards achieving the objective of the court. You have bailiff here, you have court registrar, you have process clerk, you have all of the secretaries and so on. So all these are structured in order to give the court that a responsibility that it will do, because it cannot do it as a building, it can do it using the people to achieve the objective of the court in the first place, and the common has to see the relationship between the heads of court and the judicial officers and chief registrar with the secretaries and all that. What is the head of court? In fact, when I was giving this topic, it's a relationship, I read it and said, my job is this, it's not about relationship. So I just, heads of court refer to the heads of, I started with Federal High Court, but it's beyond that. The head of the Supreme Court, the president of the Court of Appeal, these are head of court, then the chief judge of the Federal High Court, the head of the High Court of Federal Capital Territory, the state high courts are also referred as chief judges. The head of the National Judicial Industrial Court is the president. So down the line, you see the head Sharia court and so on. Officer, what? We have definitions of a division of 318 of the Constitution. Judicial office, and those who occupy it are judicial officers. But if you go to the preamble of the Code of, the Code of Conduct for Judicial Officers, on the preamble page 1, you also find a broader, analysis of who a judicial officer is mentioned as it is in the Constitution, and went ahead and said holders of similar office in inferior court, perhaps lower court. They meant by inferior court. Is that okay? We believe that no court is inferior. So, okay, yes, I didn't analyze it. But what are the roles? The judicial officers, their roles center more on adjudication, overseeing trials in court, writing judgment, so that the chief registrar is the next, perhaps in the respect of administration of the court, is the one in charge of administration in the courts. Although, to some extent, he can't do that alone. He could employ, but who is a chief registrar? That is the first place. So in some international jurisdictions, chief registrar is referred to as sheriff, and deputy sheriff as deputy chief registrar. So the sheriff is the chief registrar, and then the deputy sheriff, they said, is a bailiff. Is that correct? Is that correct? It's not true. Okay. I'll come to a question and answer. So he is the accounting officer of the judiciary in the state, at the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, the Federal High Court, etc. He runs the administration. So we know most of us, are under the office of chief registrar. But I tried to show an organogram. Can you show the organogram? Perhaps it reflects the perfect thing that you have there in the court. So this is an organogram of the head of court, the chief judge, the head of court. We have judicial officers immediately after the chief finance and accounts. We have director of admin and supplies. Maybe audit is missing there. ordered the chief registrar, we cannot see the arrangement and we can critique it. So it's just my own idea of what the organogram of the court is. I didn't have anything before, and I just tried to structure that. So I try to talk about the appointment, but that is not very important here, where the appointment of the chief registrar and all that. Usually the committee, the chief judge of the FCC. So the Court, Court of Appeal, Federal High Court, and other members of the staff in the judicial service of the Federation. So in the definition of the chief, the engine, the wheel of the administration is, within his own confines, he controls it, and then as he gets order from the few of them, I may not read all of them. So one is that he say money is money helps life. Some people say money is used to solve problems. So he's in control of that. He's the custodian of the seal of the court. He is the administrative head as supervisor of all departments of the court. He's responsible for staff matters ranging from welfare, employment, promotion. He's registrar of probate. He's the custodian of the properties and facilities of the court. He's the head of. We try to define the job, who a secretary is, but we all know the functions of a secretary. The job of a secretary is connected to the day-to-day handling of the maybe order, etc. So the correspondence, document issues are relevant to the work. So he works in an office, working for another person, dealing with letters, telephone calls, typing, keeping records, arranging meetings with people, etc. The duties of the secretary demand that to be unchecked and must under no circumstance avoid it. This has been said in several discussions. I don't need to unplug it. So they know the must understand what the court registrar is. Here, I saw one other thing that I did not list here. When somebody brought to the court before them, but while they were the court document, for the chief registrar saying, this is the document you pended, he sits in court with the judge or magistrate, judicial officer, so the lead of the presiding officer and lawyers. It is duty to share officer. The same vein, you know, some of you are court ready to perform the fill-up course, the fill summons, warrants, orders, convictions, cognizance, writ of execution, and any other document to be submitted to the judge or magistrate for his signature. We made copies of proceedings of the court when required to do so, the record of judgment or convictions and orders of the court. Administration of oaths and affirmations, training of clerical staff deployed in the litigation, taking custody of record, books, and exhibits, coordinating and supervising the work of all staff deployed in the litigation duties. So, collection and returns, all these things you know that have been said even when you were asking questions. So can we go on to the next slide? We know process. What process is a combination of two words, but in the court, the meaning of which can be implied to the work of a person in charge of the records of the council, a court. It refers to a court staff who perform detailed clerical work involving examining legal documents such as originating processes, motions, affidavits, etc. to determine acceptance. So really, the small boy, there was this case, this question that was asked sometime, maybe the first day of his presentation, whether was it a process clerk, a court clerk, or a very forced arrest. So what I was a small boy, we were living just very close to the court in my place. So there used to be people we call bailiff and court man. So that is court clerk. I don't know, court man, I don't know what you call that. Okay? Court messenger. So they are trained, they are normally beautiful people. They train them physically, to determine whether they are fit. Because sometimes somebody can escape from the body and he wants to run and chase the person to catch him. You understand? I remember one of them when he retired, so he died at the age of 9. I was really thinking about it. So we're running for the court. Hello? So now bailiff is a position or office occupied by an official of the court who perform duties that facilitate litigation and justice delivery in the court. Therefore, bailiff perform the duties assigned to the office of the bailiff in the court. Furthermore, bailiff or bailiffs may refer to such other staff of the court or persons or officers, including police officers, who may be called upon to perform the duty or duties of the bailiff. True or false? Okay. The bailiff is because of the role he plays in the administration of justice, and the duties and positions are entrenched in the Sheriff and the Civil Process Acts. Perhaps law too, and some of the laws of the states. For Kaduna State, Civil Process and law, for instance. Can we go on? These are the duties. Serving all court processes, summons, and writs from court, statements of claim on defendants. Attending court sessions for cases which someone have not been expected or served, to serve court order, ruling judgment, or other process for litigants. Submitting monthly returns of processes served to sheriff, giving testimonies in court anytime someone is called upon to do so by either of the parties to a pending matter of the court. Supervising your staff meaning performing some other duties that may be assigned to the party. Can we go on? Then the giant is here. That is the focus of the presentation. Relationship. So I don't bother you about dictionary division, but I will tell you the convergence. The convergence of all the meanings, all the divisions, all the dictionaries, dovetail into one or two things. It's about link, it's about interaction, it's about connection. That's all relationship is talking about. It's not about family relationship or your church relationship or relationship in just it's a relationship of service. You are connection in the office, you are linked in the office, you are contact, you are dealing between groups. So and staff. So can we go on? Let's see. Okay. I tried to take them one after the other. I looked at the relationship between the heads of court and secretaries, court registrars, and it will not take their time anyway. So we know the head of court is the overall boss of the judiciary of the state or any court. So he controls the affairs of the court, including all the staff. So you have a relationship, you have control who directs what to happen, who determines, who suggests policy, everything lies on the table of the head of court, and perhaps one of that two of the cases. He approves all major decisions, policy goals, or planning, or whatever that. As the head, he ensures that staff keep to the rules, whether it's the general order or the civil service rules. He exercises some control over the civil registrar and sees to the decisions and recommendations. He approves them, not just see. So he approves it. The chief registrar and all other staff of the court owe the head of court or the judiciary absolute loyalty in the discharge of their duties. Therefore, they must carry out his directives and instructions with dispatch to the best of their ability. Can we go on? So, if you ask me the relationship, you can see. Then what does he do? What does this gentleman or gentlewoman, what does he do for the head of court, particularly his specific defense? Well, if you look down when the organ wants to type the boss, wants to type any document, even though we're talking about computer age and ICT, if the word there's so much that you could not type it, you can call upon the secretary to do so. So typing letters emanating from now is keeping confidential files of judges and other senior staff of the judiciary. Don't forget, we also have secretaries to work with, and we can see that of the chief registrar. Keeping of confidential correspondence, files, typing of judgment, ruling order, other pronouncements of the judicial officer, he or she, and day-to-day basis or when the need arises. So, and any other duty, so that may be assigned at time. Can we go on? So what does this gentleman, the court registrar, do for the head of court? So we have said what he sits in court with the judicial officer. Is that he want to take the registrar and look at what they have for the day. So he informed the judge of when the registrars are meeting, we have said that. So he actually needs to, is working directly with the judicial officer. So they have a relationship of working, one is the organ, one is the supporting, or what, let me say, what is the first staff. Because there is this issue of supporting and all that. So, can we go? So, fill up the cost, or cost to the field, someone's warrant, others, non-compliance, and so on. We say that for the debate, or cost to the debate, we say that fill up those, and we say that for just to tell you what it does. Because most times it may not be the head of court, you know, but we are going to be sure that it's the same function that we are finding. So process like what does it do? From the beginning when the person is entering, people are bringing in issues or bringing whatever matters in the body. The process like performs clerical that leads to the work of the affairs by admitting examining documents, so that the business processes and all that. So it's introducing the work is happening at the beginning in the work, isn't it? So determining accessibility for recording and filing and signing fees for legal documents, you must pay the prior fee, of course. Maybe we assign some other related duties in section like head of court or head of section, chief registrar, the same duties of the political can be performed at earlier stage. Can we go on? So serving all court processes, someone's writs of courts, statement of claim on the defendant. We have said that just for you to see this is what he does for the head of court or for the judicial officer on daily basis. So another duty that they are assigned to him. So the duties of this staff are supported with those of the head of court. That is fact about that is truth. Can we go on? The relationship between the secretaries, courts, registrar, process clerk, bailiff, and the judicial officer. That relationship should be bailiffs. So the relationship between the court staff and judicial staff are the same. These ones are listed. They are the same as the relationship with the head of court. The only difference lies in the administrative duties of the head of court, which the judicial officer may not directly perform. So, except the administrative duties. So, now we go. So, the relationship between the secretaries, court registrar, process clerk, bailiffs, always when you see bailiffs, you be bailiffs. So, as we have stated above, the function of the chief registrar according to the sheriff and civil law, the security and security. Likewise, the Black Law Dictionary and Webster Dictionary defines sheriff respectively as follows. Sheriff, constitutionally elected by what we got elected. Officer having responsibility of law enforcement and execution of sheriff's department. His practical duties are in aid of the criminal courts and civil courts of record, such as serving processes, summoning juries, executive judgment, holding judicial sales, and the like. So he said the chief agriculture of the country, the 10th division is going on, who will propose mandates of the court. Mr. Kamuka. So by virtue of the mandates of the court, these are doing the responsibility.
No. Yeah, it of NJC collecting the money and giving it to the state won't be there. Because the money will be paid direct into the case of court. But I want you to understand that while we are canvassing for the judicial financial autonomy, that one point we shouldn't miss out. And that's the point that the chief judge of Cross River State made. Budgets are estimates of expected income and expenditure. It is not as if the money is there. The only thing we are saying is that any time, if it is quarterly, if it is monthly, when they are sharing, they give to the executive what belongs to them and give to the judiciary what belongs to them. Even if it is 50% of what is budgeted, that's let it be handed over to the judiciary to manage the way they feel best. That's what we are trying for. Is it not? It's not as if the judiciary budgeted 100 billion. They must get 100 billion. No. If what is realized and shared among the three tiers of government, if the judiciary can get 20, 40, 50, 60%, let it go to them, not the executive sharing it for them. I think I agree with you that this should be done. That the principle of federalism does not allow the NJC to collect money made from the state judiciaries and then share it with the state judiciaries. They were doing it before. It was discovered to be wrong. But when the Supreme Court gave their judgment, what we did was not directing them to resort to Section 121. Before, yes, the NJC was collecting money and giving it to the state. But after judgment was given, the resource control suit, a directive was given by then Chairman of State Committee on Judicial, Mike Adé, to the Revenue Progression and Fiscal and that it is wrong and they stop. Then they should have given directive that states should be made to comply with Section 161 Section 0 of the Constitution. That was the situation. But since judgment has been given to that effect, let us see what will happen. But I think if it had continued, because it started when we came in for democracy at the beginning, and a lot of us are happy that we are coming back to democracy and we are enjoying it. But now we are democracy, and I believe that maybe as time goes on, those things will become matters of the past. Are you okay with that? Coming to another secondment. Who said there is no secondment in the judiciary? Huh? I've never heard that. There is no secondment in the judiciary. There is secondment in the judiciary. If you want to go on secondment, when I came here, I had notion of either coming on secondment or coming on the judiciary. So there is secondment in the judiciary. Some staff here were seconded from other arms of the judiciary. And I know some judicial staff who have gone on secondment to the executive arm. So there are secondment in the judiciary. Then where do you get the information? Or there is no more practices in your state. There is secondment in the judiciary, right? That is the answer to that question. The relationship between staff of state judiciaries and NJC? Absolutely not.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Perfectly in order.
The only staff of the state judiciary that share relationship with the NJC and the judicial officers as defined by the Constitution. Not just the secret. All the judicial officers as defined by the Constitution. Yes. What I mean is judges and judicial officers of the Supreme Court of Labour, High Court, Covenant of Appeal, and Sheriff of Appeal where they exist. That's all. They pay their salary. They recommend their appointment. They discipline them. They can promote them. They can as well demote them or dismiss them. So at that level, but for you, and before from chief registrar down, there is no relationship of any kind. The only relationship again I can see as regards the chief registrar, and that is that they come there to defend their budget. That's all. That's the only thing. They come there to defend their budget for the purposes of existing judges and expected new judges to come in the coming year. Because when you are defending your budget, you are including those judges that are serving, those who are going to retire within the fiscal year, and those who may be expected to be appointed in the incoming fiscal year. So, to that extent, that is the only relationship I know that exists between the judicial staff of states. I mean staff, not judicial officers. Then you say to hire more secretaries or to pay you allowances for doing, at the same time you are the highest in number, I think 135. That is attempting this. and you are asking for more staff. Only 105 of you that are here can do all the job. It's sometimes it's utilization of what you have. How do you utilize in that? So these things go to human resource management program. Shows you that that court is not understaffed. They have enough out of 135 for a customary court of appeal. At most, that means every area council have one. But in some states, but Abuja, in the way it is organized, there are 40 secretaries in that distribution, and you share 40 into 6. What are you going to get? Am I right? It's not even 4. That should be 6. So it's giving more. So you shouldn't be overwhelmed. So this is a matter. Because around you, because you are the only one who is performing. The rest are always on maternity leave. There are people who are always on maternity leave. From Anambra State Judicial, from the Administrator of National Secretaries, and we talked about pay our letters to all the state judiciaries. If you want, call us. States we are still next month going to do for 2 or 3 hours. They are prepared for you, for us. Not necessarily come, we discuss. Some states want to carry it to have them. You get what I'm saying? Judicial staff that can talk to you. And he's talking to you, say, look at this one. Is he not the one I say? To have to talk to you, somebody who do not know you, judiciaries to submit. Okay. I will inform them. They have themselves. They will hear, but not asking. That means we are doing the job of the head of court. One, remember that some of us may be falling into the same problem, no distant future is. And unfortunately, the people in charge of this pension something will be delayed. I think we are the actors of our own misfortune, kind of. Because it's still the same judicial staff, some of you who are in this training, that I think is a matter of conscience. I'm not sure there's any problem in the processing of, it's just a matter of disposition of the officers concerned. And perhaps you are more in number. You are more in number, so that may be another reason. Because there are only 1,020 judicial officers. There are nearly 1,000 staff here, and you have not counted of your segregation benefits. My colleagues may talk for that.
Questions that were asked, the answers are actually, if you go to page 10, 11, 12, there was one question somebody to take over the duty to the director at that point was, well, ain't much we can do. We cannot go outside of our mind.
You see, we are not in a hurry to dismiss because we don't want to do it. We are enjoying your company, you know. And so we want to do it next year. Judicial Institute, the Director of Research, Mr. Kau, the Director of Studies, Mr. Omar Abdulaziz, Senior Research Fellow, Mr. Otutu, all protocols duly observed. Good afternoon, participants. Communique issued by participants at the National Workshop of Secretaries, Court Registrars, Process Clerks and Bailiffs on Ethics and Anti-Corruption held at the Andrews, Otutu Auditorium, National Judicial Institute from 13th to 15th July 2015. Preamble. Whereas the National Judicial Institute, the Institute, is the statutory body established by the National Judicial Institute Act, Cap. 55, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, with a mandate to provide continuing education for judicial officers
and their support staff across the country. Whereas the Board of Governors of the Institute, under the able chairmanship of Honorable Justice Mahmoud Mohammed GCON, the Honorable, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, took cognizance of the role and importance of secretaries, court registrars, process clerks, and bailiffs in the administration and dispensation of justice, especially at the grassroots, approved that a national workshop be organized for the said category of judicial staff. Whereas the Institute organized and held the said workshop for the stated category of judicial staff with the theme improving staff performance through attitudinal change in Abuja from 13th to 15th July 2015. Whereas 816 participants from the federal judiciary, the 36 state judiciaries, and the FCT attended the workshop, in which a total of 6 papers were presented. Now, therefore, the distinguished participants, having listened to the presentations and actively participated in the discussion, acknowledge the immense role and contribution of the National Judicial Institute in building and improving capacity of court staff, especially those of courts and the grassroots. Participants resolve as follows. One, that court employees must exhibit a high standard of decorum and comportment in the course of performing their day-to-day activities in court. Do you agree, please? That's right. It's part of the resolution. Okay. Number 2. Sir? Observation? Sir? Functions, yes. So pure unwarranted privileges or confer any unfair advantage on themselves or their families. Do you agree?
Yes. Positions or...
Please raise your hand, sir. Microphone should refrain from an overly close association with lawyers, litigants, and members of the public if doing so will affect the integrity of the judicial process.
Yes. Yes.
Resolve is alright. Come on.
Okay, remove henceforth.
Excuse me, please. That number 9. We will talk about it at the Court of Governors level, but it shouldn't be contained here. If you still want to see me here tomorrow, please, it should go. Remove number 9.
Number 10. That the difficulties encountered by the court staff in 6 states.
Yes.
Participants expressed their appreciation and gratitude. Participants expressed their appreciation and gratitude to the Honorable, the Chief Justice and Chairman of Board Justice of Nigeria and Chairman of Board of Governors of the National Judicial Institute, who declared the workshop open, and all Chief Judges, Grand Cadis, and Presidents of the customary courts of appeal, Chairman of sessions, resource persons, and panelists for their support and useful contributions during the workshop? Finally, the participants thanked the administrator of the National Judicial Institute, Honorable Justice RPI Bozimo, OFR, and staff of the National Judicial Institute for their warm hospitality and for organizing a very successful workshop. Thank you.
Process, I have adopted 3-item communique. We assure you that at least the administrator will have the communique before the close of work today. And I'm sure the administrator will take up the matters contained therein, especially those that do not need amendment of the law or the rules. There are some that we need the law to be amended and rules to be amended, of course, yes. And some we just need some administrative touches to bring it into reality. Don't think that things work that way. Even in 2012, when the former chiefs of Nigeria set up the stakeholders committee that looked into reforms in the judiciary, they made recommendations. Some needed constitutional amendment, some needed legislative enhancement, and some needed administrative action. The ones that needed administrative action, we have already done that. The ones that needed constitutional amendment, unfortunately, the amendment was not signed by the president and starting afresh. Some needed legislative enhancement. Those ones, some committees that they set up, to look into it. The new one, like now you have national judicial policy. It was the action of that stakeholders forum. And in the place of God, gathered together and drafted the national judicial policy. It doesn't need legislative action. Like routine allowance or wardrobe allowance, it doesn't need any legislative action. It doesn't need any constitutional amendment. It only needs the governors to comply with section 121, the enable the children to have money to supply the wardrobe allowance. So these things are very simple. So don't think they're very hard to come by. So we got ourselves for going through that. Yes, finally, there will be announcements. After the announcements, there will be lunch at the usual place. After the lunch, we all will go home and go back to our judicial circle. Then before the announcement, I want a volunteer, a sincere volunteer from the bottom of his or her heart. I don't have anybody in mind to come and make a vote of thanks and observation on behalf of the participants. The first person to raise his or her hand now. Okay.
My name is Chinedu Faith Ayalot John from Federal High Court, Umuahia, Abia State. I want to sincerely appreciate this workshop. I've been attending the workshop, but this is the best. Also, I want to appreciate our mommy, the director. On behalf of the participants and the privilege that they gave us thereby giving us a clinic. I pray that the Lord bless you all in Jesus' name. I want to appreciate on behalf of the participants present and absent both the swing and we pray that you will keep it up, that the Lord will bless you.
Myself, the Director of Research, Aja T. Kau, Aja Dekudi, is always coming to my mouth like that. My colleagues, the Deputy Director of Studies, the Rapport Class, the Senior Research Fellows here, Gebato and the Osman Otutu, and all the staff of the National Judicial Institute. I thank all of you for attending this program, and having attended, we thank you for your participation. And as you go, we wish you good luck. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir. God bless
Thank you, sir. Thank you for my love. I'm not going to give it to No, I'm bringing for people. Yeah, give me one. Before the people.